up on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
The city of Syracuse and SU have reached a new financial agreement.
Citrus TV reporter Rob Romano takes a look inside the SU dining halls.
And we'll tell you all you need to know about Republican candidate John Kasich's stop in Syracuse tomorrow.
Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Hello and welcome to Citrus TV News. I'm Jacob Reynolds.
And I'm Topher Lane. Syracuse University announced a $7 million deal with the city. We will tell you why the university is paying the city and what to expect from the deal tonight as our top story. The city of Syracuse made a deal with SU today to compensate for the university's use of city services. Mayor Stephanie Miner announced that SU will pay $7 million over 5 years.
$4.5 million will go to city services, while the remaining money will go to local neighborhood organizations. This is a big change in payment, as Syracuse was only paying $500,000 a year to the city beforehand. Earlier this morning, a robbery at a Bank of America downtown led to a speedy arrest. 29-year-old Daniel Carroll was arrested within 1,000 feet of the bank. The incident occurred around 9:30 this morning after Carroll demanded money from a teller and told her he was carrying a gun. The suspect then took off on foot and was quickly spotted. Carroll is charged with third-degree robbery and is being held in the Onondaga County Justice Center. And an art installation scheduled to appear on the Shaw Quad today has been postponed due to bad weather. The display was for the It's On Us campaign's National Week of Action, and it depicts the intersection between alcohol and sexual abuse. A new date has yet to be announced.
Republican presidential candidate John Kasich is moving his Syracuse Town Hall event tomorrow to a larger space at Lemoyne College. This change in venue comes after a larger than expected crowd RSVP'd to the event. The new spot holds 600 people rather than the original location's 200 capacity. The meeting is part of Kasich's first campaign stop in upstate New York ahead of the state's presidential primary later this month. And while John Kasich is campaigning in CNY tomorrow, GOP candidate Ted Cruz announced today that he will be coming to Syracuse and Rochester next week. No specific dates or locations have been released, but we will be following this story closely and update you with the details throughout the week.
When a restaurant decides to buy local, it reduces pollution and food is fresher. Syracuse's dining halls are no different. Our Rob Romano has more on SU's effort to serve local food and provide students with dining options that are better for the planet.
Inside Ernie Davis Hall, you can see Syracuse's best attempts to buy local. According to information provided by Food Services, the coffee is from Freedom of Espresso, a coffee shop downtown. General Mills cereals are packaged in Buffalo, and the milk used to create Chobani Greek yogurts is from local dairies. A panel of 4 experts last night in Falk are hoping the local efforts continue. One of them is registered dietitian for Food Services, Ruth Sullivan. She says SU tries to reduce leftovers by using a special software.
We can plug in certain things and we'll say this was the acceptability factor of this certain food, and so the next time that food comes up, we won't make too much.
SU Food Services worker Orena Wong was in attendance at the panel discussion. She says the efforts to reduce food thrown out isn't enough. She uses dining hall lasagna as an example.
They always make like 6, 7, 8 trays, and I know every night we only use 2 trays.
Sullivan responded by saying executive chef of SU Food Services Parvinder Singh was cognizant of food waste.
He's going and he's seeing those things, and he's going to go back and he's going to look at lasagna.
Part of the night's discussion was about sustainability, or reducing environmental impact by making better food-related decisions. Syracuse does this by composting.
When you're finished eating inside Ernie Davis Hall, you dust off your plate into the trash. But it's excess food like what's found inside here that allows Syracuse to compost 400 tons of material every year. Check out this YouTube video from the Onondaga County Resource Recovery Agency, an organization that Syracuse is partnered with to compost.
A bucket loader then takes those food scraps to a mixer and adds 3 equal parts of shredded yard waste to the mix.
Executive chef of SU Food Services Parvinder Singh was part of the panel in Falk last night. Sullivan says there are between 15,000 and 16,000 food swipes a day at SU, including vending machines. Rob Romano, Citrus TV News.
Coming up, the battle between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton ahead of the New York state primaries is heating up.
And the Panama Papers scandal saw more prominent political figures added to the list of leaders involved.
And right now, we'll tell you what we'll see next in weather. Brendan, what do you have?
Well, it's been a wet and windy day here in Syracuse, as you can see by looking at satellite radar. Most of the heavy rain has moved out of our area. There's still some lingering showers around. And what will the rain and possibly snow hang around for the weekend? I'll let you know coming up after the break.
My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek. So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
More than 2 square miles of forest brush are burnt out after a wildfire spread rapidly yesterday between Arizona and California. The spreading flames forced 2 RV parks and a resort to evacuate, and only 5% of the fire was contained as of last night. The U.S. had the worst wildfire season ever last year, and the hotter temperatures could make this year just as devastating. And Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are competing for New York ahead of the state's primary in less than 2 weeks. The two are playing out the battle in speeches, roundtables, television ads, and media interviews in the Empire State. New York will send more delegates to the Democratic Convention than any other state so far and has not been relevant in a primary in a long time. And President Obama returned to the University of Chicago Law School for the first time as president to emphasize his demand that Republicans follow the law and hold a hearing on and vote on his nominee to the Supreme Court. White House aides say they are hoping this visit will help maintain pressure on Republicans and also get the point across of the overall importance of the Supreme Court. And the woman whose story of a gang rape at UVA testified in court today. The student called Jackie in the Rolling Stone article about the alleged gang rape that happened when she says 7 men raped her at a frat party. The article ran in November of 2014, causing the University of Virginia president to suspend all fraternity-related activities. But an investigation into the story raised some serious questions, causing Rolling Stone to retract it.
The fallout from the Panama Papers continues to point to big-time world leaders. Earlier today, British Prime Minister David Cameron admitted he benefited from a Panama-based offshore trust set up by his father. After days of speculation and dodging the issue, Cameron fessed up, saying he owned shares in a tax fund that he sold for a £19,000 profit just before becoming Prime Minister in 2010. He has held the shares since 1997. The UN will begin a 2-day conference in Geneva today looking to tackle extremism. The director of the UN's Counterterrorism Task Force says they hope the conference will help bring together governments and communities. He says that the key to fighting extremism is to focus on unemployed and troubled youths who could be drawn to radicalism. Iraqi forces have said they've taken a key city from the Islamic State. Iraqi counterterrorism says the town of Heat, which has been an ISIS stronghold, is now under Iraqi control after a month-long mission. Iraqi troops first entered the city on Monday, backed by Allied airstrikes. The town sits along a supply line that connects ISIS territory between Iraq and Syria. Pope Francis could be set to make some major changes to the Catholic Church. He's expected to issue a major document named The Joy of Love in Latin tomorrow. In it, he could overhaul how much the Catholic Church looks at many controversial issues, including how it treats those who have been divorced or had marriages annulled. Other major points that could be covered include homosexuality, cohabitation, and polygamy. Since becoming Pope, Francis has led the Church to a more progressive stance than ever before. And now we'll toss it over to Brendan and Jake to get a look at what we can expect after the break.
And when we come back, we'll tell you how Harry Potter is going to California and The Little Mermaid is headed to Hollywood.
And we had a wet day here in Syracuse, but the stormy weather here to stay? I'll have your full forecast coming up after the break.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Rain, snow, freezing temperatures, that is just the beginning on Monday. Brendan Tierney is here to tell us if the wild weather is here to stay. Brendan?
Unfortunately, it is here to stay at least through the weekend and early next week, but it's not that bad outside right now. Currently 45 degrees and just some scattered showers. The wind is gusting every now and then, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Not that bad of a high today either. Today's high was 51 degrees. Taking a look at our futurecast, you're able to see that most of the storm has moved out of the area, but there is some snow that might be moving in as we get below freezing in the overnight hours. Unfortunately, luckily there won't be that much around in the morning on the ground. Look for some icy spots, however, in the morning. Taking a look at your national surface, you're able to see there's a bunch of low pressure systems in our area up here in the northeast that's currently causing all these storms. Luckily, those are going to move out of here along with that cold front. It's going to be nice and dry and some high pressure is going to move in, but that won't be until next week, so we do have a wet weekend on its way. Looking at precipitation totals, we're looking between 1 and 2 inches of rain here in the Syracuse area, which is above average for a week in the spring. Normally you see ½ an inch to an inch, so definitely more rain than normal for just 1 week in Syracuse in the spring. Not that bad overall, though. Overnight tonight, low 29 degrees. The rain will be changing to snow in the early morning hours. We're looking at a changeover between about midnight and 2 a.m. Winds will be gusting between 15 and 25 miles per hour. And then taking a look at your Citrus TV 5-day forecast. See, tomorrow, Friday, 75% chance of some snow. 38 degrees is your high, so it'll either be snow or rain depending on where the temperature is. Saturday, 34 degrees. We do get warmer on Sunday and Monday as the chance of snow changes to a chance of rain, and luckily it's all out of here by Tuesday.
So Brendan, you're talking about snow. Are we going to see any accumulation?
We're talking 2 to 4 inches over the weekend. Luckily, it will be all washed away by the rain on Sunday and Monday.
Okay, and then are we any chance we're expecting snow in the future, or are we hoping for spring sometime
It's
soon?
looking for some more spring. That 50 on Monday, definitely looking nicer, but there's still always a chance of we get a cold band and some lake effect snow.
All right, thanks, Brendan.
Thank you.
Now we turn to our ICYMI segment where we fill you in all the entertainment, consumer, and health news you may have missed. Jake, what do we need to know?
Well, Topher, the website Reddit took a big step yesterday in its effort to address online abuse. The website is giving individuals more control over tormentors by giving users a blocking feature against harassment. The company says it wants to spread beyond its 243 million monthly visitors by building on the concept that people will want to engage with the community if they're less exposed to negative speech. And a Long Island high school student was overcome by emotions yesterday when she was accepted to all 8 Ivy League universities. Augusta Uwamenzuna is the second and most recent from her high school to sweep all 8. And American Idol will end its storied run tonight after 15 seasons, launching the careers of superstars like Carrie Underwood, Jennifer Hudson, and Adam Lambert. The show will have its series finale this evening. The last Idol crown will go to either LaPortia Renee or Trent Harmon. The show premiered back in 2001, inspired by Britain's Pop Idol. And visitors of Universal Studios in Hollywood will be entranced after the opening of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter today. The snow-covered medieval village based on the Harry Potter books and movies has a restaurant and 2 rides. But be careful what you eat before entering because one of the rides, the Forbidden Journey, has reportedly made some test riders nauseous. And The Little Mermaid show now has some more big names to add to its cast. The 5 cast members so far are John Stamos, Rebel Wilson, Darren Criss, Sarah Bareilles, and Titus Burgess. They're all set to star in the live-action show at the Hollywood Bowl this June. It will include songs from both the 1998 Disney movie and the Broadway musical play that ran from 2007 to 2009. And Amy Schumer is standing up for her waistline. Schumer criticized Glamour magazine for featuring her in a plus-sized edition, alongside Adele and Melissa McCarthy. Schumer says her dress size doesn't put her in that category, and American sizes, anything size 16 and up, is considered plus size. And Schumer says she goes between a 6 and an 8. The Trainwreck comedian says she was worried young girls would look at her as plus size and see themselves more negatively. And on the other side of the body image issue, advertising standard authorities in Britain are pulling a Gucci ad featuring a model they say looks unhealthily thin, adding that the ad is irresponsible. The Italian fashion brand has posted a video online featuring the ad, but it has since been taken down. In defense of the ad, Gucci says the target audience was an older crowd, not younger, more impressionable young women. And now let's send it over to Nick Dugan for your latest sports news. Nick, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Jake. Coming up, Syracuse men's lacrosse meets the Hobart Statesmen for the 102nd time in program history. We'll let you know how they fared, plus some key names returning for Coach Boeheim and Coach Q next season. All that and more on the other side of the break.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
Thank you, dear. Oh, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
It's been a season of numbers for the SU men's lacrosse team. 100, the number of seasons in program history. 200, Dylan Donahue's career point total. And 31, as in the 31st annual Krause-Simmons Trophy matchup between the Orange and Central New York rival Hobart. The Orange took on Hobart in Geneva. Let's see how they fared. Evan Malloy getting the start in between the pipes instead of Warren Hill. And in the first, it's Ryan Simmons finding Jordan Evans for the quick 1-0 lead. Then Matt Lane, he's going to have a nifty face dodge here. Can't put it past the keeper, but he picks up the rebound. And he is not driven out of the crease until it's too late. 5-0 SU with just under 6 left in the first. But Hobart not going away as Frank Brown finds the top left corner. 5-1 SU, just over 11 left in the second quarter. But then Sergio Salcido, one of his many assists on the day to Nick Mariano. And Mariano, he's loving it. 7-2 for the Orange at that point. But then Frank Brown from Gavin Llewellyn. Brown pays the price, but the goal is good. 7-3 heading into the half, and then Hobart keeps the run going. Brian Hancock finds the back of the net with a lefty laser. 7-6 SU with 12 left in the third. Cooper Stefaniak, his shot is saved by Malloy, and we're going the other way. Sergio Salcido, he finds Nick Mariano in transition, and in transition, always find the point man, and Mariano does to Dylan Donahue, who finds the back of the net. 9-6 for SU with 4:41 left in the third. And then in the fourth quarter with just under two minutes left, Sergio Salcido, left hand, no problem. 13-6 is the score at that point. That would be your final. Ryan Simmons there holding up the Krause Trophy, and it will stand Syracuse for the third straight season. After dropping 3 straight games, the Orange able to come away with a victory against Hobart on a Wednesday night in the 31st annual Krause-Simmons Trophy matchup. After jumping out to an early lead, Hobart able to draw back within 1, but that's when Coach Desko said he saw his team play much differently than they had in their previous late-game losses.
And I thought defensively it was a good game for us because they came back and we had to fight and we had to hold them down. You know, our defense had to play tough and going down the stretch for us to get the win. So it's a really good experience for us game-wise.
I mean, I was composed. I'm a confident goalie, and I knew I could play. The coach had confidence in me, obviously, giving me the start. My teammates were all there for me, so I wasn't really nervous at all. I was ready to play.
The Orange will have the weekend off, but they'll be back in action on Tuesday night when they travel down to Ithaca to face longtime Central New York rival Cornell at 7 p.m. Reporting from Boswell Field in Geneva, New York, Nick Dugan, Citrus TV. And after historic runs to the Final Four by the SU men's and women's basketball teams, their seasons have finally come to a close. But there's some news that has the Orange fans already excited for Orange Madness in October. Junior forward Tyler Roberson will return for his senior season after considering an early exit from the program, according to Syracuse.com. Roberson averaged just under 9 points and 8 boards a game in the 2016 campaign. For Coach Q and the women's team, redshirt junior Brittany Sykes will return for her 5th year of eligibility. The guard was a huge part of the team's tournament success, averaging 15 points in those 6 games. And after dropping 5 straight ACC matchups, the Orange tennis team got back on track last weekend with wins over ranked opponents Wake Forest and Florida State. This weekend they hit the road to take on Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon. SU freshman Gabriella Knutson looks to continue her winning ways and enters the matchup with a record of 11-4. The Panthers are just 7-9 overall this season, but the wins have been plentiful for junior singles player Amber Washington, who has lost only 2 matches this season. The match will start at 1 p.m. And if you were planning on attending a Syracuse Chiefs game this weekend, well, you're going to have to wait a bit longer. Instead of opening day at home today, the team will play a doubleheader tomorrow against Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs in Pennsylvania. However, the action will not be open to spectators. The new home opener is scheduled for Monday evening. To the ice, the Rangers and the Islanders will square off tonight in Madison Square Garden with plenty at stake. The Rangers enter the game just 2 points ahead of their in-state rival, clinging to a 3rd position in the Metropolitan Division. After winning their previous 2 games, the Rangers have to get it done without their captain, Ryan McDonough, who is out with a lower body injury. The puck drops at 7 p.m. And the Masters is starting up today, and Jordan Spieth currently in the lead, shooting 6 under par for the day. But some news, of course, off the course. Jack Nicklaus stopped by security at the front gate And security, well, they didn't even recognize him. By the way, the man has won 6 Masters championships. Oh, and he's 3rd all-time in PGA Tour wins. Do a little homework for the security, maybe.
All right, so Nick, biggest news in sports for me at least is the Warriors chasing the 96 Bulls record. Do you think they can do it?
I think that the Warriors have kind of trailed off here at the end of the season a bit surprisingly. I don't think they'll be able to get it done. I think even with the Spurs, they play the Spurs twice in the remaining schedule this season. Even with the Spurs resting players, I think the Spurs still find a way to beat the Warriors once. So I think they'll probably get to 72, but 73 looking less likely.
So close, yet so far. All right, thank you, Nick.
Well, what are you wearing to class tomorrow?
And what sporting events will you be watching this weekend?
Find out on the other side of the break.
Fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Oh, hello there. Oh,
where's that bear?
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
In your back, what can we wear to class tomorrow?
Definitely bundle up. It's going to be snowing in the morning. It will be snowing until about 10 a.m. We're talking about temperatures around 29, 32 degrees.
The dang snow every time. All
Bundle
right, thank
up.
you, Brendan. And our show's winding down, but stick around on OTN for On the Bench, and then get all your entertainment news with Orange Zest, and then with a lot of political news going on before the primaries. Make sure you stay tuned for Talking Points. And Nick, lots of sports going on. Lacrosse still going on. Women's softball still going on. What are you most excited for this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Another great Central New York rivalry coming up for the men's lacrosse team next Tuesday. They go to play Cornell in Ithaca. It's the 4th longest standing rivalry in men's lacrosse history, so it should be a good game there.
Do you think SU has a chance or no?
I think that a good win on Wednesday against Hobart, maybe they get back into a little bit of a rhythm. We'll have to see who starts in goal for the Orange, whether it be Malloy or Hill, but I think that they're on enough of a little bit of a momentum train now that I think they'll be able to pull out a win.
Alrighty.
And weather coming into next week, it's going to be a bad weekend in snow. Any predictions for weather coming out of the weekend?
Yeah, luckily Tuesday, by the time the lacrosse game's on down in Cornell, it should be pretty nice overall. We're talking 50, 60 degrees. The rain should be out of here by Tuesday afternoon.
I tell you, if we do another one of these shows and Brendan tells me about the snow, I'm not coming back anymore. Right, we're just all going to book tickets from Miami. We'll do CitrusTV News Live at 6 on Thursday from Miami on location.
I'm hoping to hear about warmer weather next week, hopefully.
Hopefully it's going to start feeling like spring.
All right. Well, that's all that we have for CitrusTV News Live at 6 tonight. But if you just can't get enough, make sure and follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV News and check us out online at citrustv.com. I'm Topher Link.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds. Have a great rest of your night, Syracuse, and we'll be back tomorrow.